welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, hello, my name is Emily and I'm a French artist and YouTuber. In this week's video, I'm going to do another artwork in my Strathmore tan paper. This is the gray tone, which is my favorite, so I hope you will enjoy it. And this time I am trying new things. So in regards to the artwork you're going to see, I was wondering what topic I could approach in this new art talk series. Last time I did a style talk, and so in this week's video I'm going to focus on cultural appropriation. I just want to give my 2 cents as an artist and what is to me cultural appropriation, when it's okay in a way and when it's not, and how I am trying my best to be inclusive in my characters, but I'm not as much as I would like to be because of basically being scared of doing cultural appropriation. Hopefully I can articulate my thoughts. Yeah, we'll see. So before I jump into the topic, just going to quickly mention that this piece was done with the same technique I've used before. I put a flat color with my markers, although I may stop doing that because the paper isn't very good with the markers, so we'll see about that in the future. But for the dark skin, that was kind of hard, so I did a flat coloring with my markers and a tiny bit of the shading, but not too much. And then I did the entire piece with pencils. I actually got new Prismacolor Premier pencils and I got new luminance pencils, and I did pretty much everything with those and my polychromos. And yeah, and I finished with like a few highlights with my white general pen, but that's basically the technique I've used. You will see you see me coming back and forth on the skin. I haven't done a dark skin character in a very long time, and it was a lot of fun. I really want to do more. So yeah, I hope that you will enjoy that. And also for all the people out there watching my videos who are dark skin or just not white, I hope that you will enjoy the fact that I'm trying my best to make different kinds of characters. So now let's get on with the topic of discussions in this week's video, which is cultural appropriation in art. Until I was about 8, I pretty much grew up in an environment that didn't have a lot of diversity, mainly white people, and I had like one friend that was darker because she came from Martinique. And so I didn't really see any other people or other cultures or anything besides like a few of the folklore, but it was mainly local, so nothing really tremendous, you know. I was about 8, like I said, when I moved to the city, and I surrounded myself with a little bit more diversity, but not too much. I had like I said, I had like 1 or 2 people in my school that were not from actual like France. So it was a little bit of a mind-blowing moment when I discovered at age 13 internet, because I grew up without internet. I was 13 years old and I discovered manga and anime at the same time, and it happened a new world for me because I entered, I guess, different culture with the art road. I started being inspired and into a lot of the Japanese culture because of the manga and anime. I read some manga. I was doing a lot of manga art. I was a fan of Cardcaptor Sakura. Although when I was a little bit younger, I saw some anime on the TV, but it just looked like drawings. You know, I didn't thought about a different culture. I just thought about it as a nice like thing to watch on TV. I was into the fashion, I was into the language, I was into how the society worked. At the same time, about the same time, I was also studying history in school from different places, and I, of course, studied like ancient Egypt, ancient Greece. I was really, really blown away by all the different languages, like people from different parts of the world, different skin color, different culture, different customs. It was very, very interesting to me. And also at the same age, I started being very serious with my art. And it kind of combined itself pretty much naturally because I was inspired by different things that I was just discovering. I was also trying new things with my art, and I was also growing. And so it was a lot of fun. And back then I was doing a lot of the manga kind of art. I was doing crappy artwork. If you'd like to see what I was used to do, I think I have a video from like my old stuff. But that was my way of entering this world, and I was also listening to music from Japan. I was listening to songs in Japanese, of course. I was listening to songs in Chinese. I listened to a lot of songs in English, and I also starting to speak English. But the term cultural appropriation never really went into my head until a long after that time. I don't remember exactly when it was, but over the last 10 years or so, pretty much, let's run it up to like 7, 8 years I've been on YouTube, and I saw a lot of things that were saying to be cultural appropriation from different culture, but I never really seen it that way. I was a little bit confused at first. And so in regards to art, the thing is, personally, I would like to be more inclusive and to do more people from different parts of the world, to do more like representations of the people who are following me and who are watching my videos, because to me, there's like two reasons. The one reason is that it gets pretty boring to just do white character, and the second reason is that I am extremely proud to and like really happy to be able to reach people from very far away, from a different culture, different parts of the world. It's almost like a gift for me to make content and to create characters and to create a world that is for you and like from such places, because I don't know, to me it's a little bit, I don't like the term, but to me it is very exotic because it's completely different, and this is something I don't know. And for people who are seeing this content, it feels more like, hey, this, I can relate to that because I look like her, or because she's from a same part of the world like I am. And so when I did my last artwork, which is Ravija from India, I am pretty much obsessed with the culture and the pattern and just the clothing and everything. And so I really wanted to do a character like that, and I was a little bit scared at first because I didn't want people to judge me and to think that I did things the wrong way, or that I should do a different skin tone, or that I shouldn't do the jewelry like that, or that she can't be like this. Because people online, especially whenever you do something outside of your comfort zone, outside of your own demographic or your own thing, they tend to be very judgmental and to tell you that you did wrong. And I think a lot of artists, they are doing it wrong. That's the first thing. I know, I mean, I don't, not personally, but I mean, I've seen a few people on YouTube, whether it's like singers or vloggers, doing very offensive things, especially in Japan. And like, I don't want to actually name him, but he's pretty famous for doing a Japanese vlog that is very offensive. I've seen people, doing things that I think are cultural appropriation and very disrespectful, because they are using a culture and they change it so much, or they do things so differently, that it's not an homage. It's not a way to pay respect to the culture because you like it. It's a way to make it yourself and to make it about you, and you almost dismantle. And it's, I don't know exactly the term in English, but I just think it's rude to I think it's cultural appropriation, right? If you use something and you change it so much that it actually doesn't even serve the culture, that is very bad. If you are inspired and you love something from different culture than yours, I think it's okay to be inspired by it and to create something based on it. And as long as you cite your sources, you credit, and you just say this is your own interpretation, I think it's okay. But I just don't think we should have a disclaimer every time we do such things. I want to stop being scared. And I don't think we should always justify ourselves. It's just art. This is drawings. This is not meant to be realistic. This is just inspired by different culture, and I create a new world based on it. But like I said, I really liked it. I want to be more inclusive. I want to do more characters from different parts of the world. I want to do more males. I want to do like animals. I want to do stuff that is completely not I mean, it's a completely different mindset. When I'm working on a project, if I want to actually do a character that is based of a certain part of the world, and I want to do an homage and I want to do justice, then I will just research for it. You know, when I did my character last week, Ravija, I actually Googled stuff and I searched for like Indian portrait or beautiful Indian woman, and I searched for a name, and I searched for like yeah, I mean, I did it justice, I believe, because I wanted her to be from that place, and I wanted to do it because I enjoy the culture. I think they're beautiful, and I really love the colors, and I think also that I have a lot of people from India watching my videos, and you guys were amazing because everyone in a comment, especially people from India, were so happy to see me do something new and something different. And so, you know what? I was scared for like the past almost years. I was so scared of doing things that are not from my background because I would offend or do it wrong, that I pretty much prevent myself from doing something that I wanted to do, because I wonder if it's a double standard, because if you are a dark skinned artist, do people like get offended if you do a white character? You know what I'm saying? I think it's pretty much always a whitewash thing. I mean, I'm always just scared of people telling me that I whitewash everyone or everything. I'm not. I think in art, during painting, but in art, I think it's pretty important. If you have a guideline, it's just a strong guideline of doing it the right way. And I mean, not even putting a disclaimer, but just doing it, hey, this is not me whitewashing a character. And like, I'm not putting a white girl in a kimono just for the sake of putting a white girl in a kimono. I personally think that it's okay to draw a character, any character in a kimono, but I personally prefer, and that's usually what I do, to have it, you know, a little bit more like separate ways. Like to me, a kimono is just more suited in the way I create characters if that woman is actually also from Japan, or either a mixed ethnicity, like she has like, I don't know, like a father in France and like a Japanese mom. But what I'm saying is, as long as I respect a few bases, I think it's okay. And I think every artist like should be free, completely free of doing so. But there's a very fine line, I believe, in between doing a cultural inspo, you know, and being a cultural appropriation and changing things so much that you completely disregard the culture itself. Like just the worst example that I have in mind right now is Katy Perry. I mean, I do like her music, but she was targeting she was targeted before for being like for doing cultural appropriation, because I have in mind especially the music video that she did for Dark Horse, which is like inspired by ancient Egypt. Although I do like the fact that she is inspired by ancient Egypt, I think that she transformed it too much. And I don't know, this is to me very much like a slippery road, because ancient Egypt is a lot related to religious beliefs. And if you transform it that way, you kind of disregard their religious beliefs and the entire legacy, I suppose. And I think it's very, very dangerous. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I think there's a fine line. I think you have to do research and maybe ask people, hey, when is it too far? Like, what do you think about this? Do you think that artists should just be free of creating what they want, without explaining themselves all the time? I think the culture and like the diversity we have in our world is a huge luck. This is pretty amazing. I think we should be able to not transform it. What I'm saying is we should be able to share it and make it us, and not just something that is belonging to a certain group of people. I mean, you don't own a culture. I'm French, but I don't own any of the French culture. I just grew up in it, you know. I think people tend to be very defensive, maybe like even for religious beliefs or for customs or clothing or just I don't know. In general, I think we tend to be oversensitive about it, and we are being advocates for a culture we don't actually own because we are all came from the same thing. We are humans. We grew up in the same continent at first. We just shifted from that, and we grew up in different societies. And I think it's really amazing that we get, with the internet and everything, I think it's pretty amazing we get to see that from different parts of the world. We can actually see this diversity, and I think in art, especially, to me, in my opinion, when you paint and you draw, you are prone to using what you have seen before. Artists from ages ago, and like, they were known to be to replicate reality, or to create stuff from different parts of the world, from different people, from this and that, and make it their own. This is the sole purpose to me of an artist, is to make it from everything they see or they believe, whatever, and they make it their own, and then they transform it to create something new, and then that can be an inspiration for another artist, and etc., etc. And so, I mean, it's also can be a talk about whether it's original or not. Like, should I just do abstract art? If I'm doing characters, of course, at some point I'm gonna have to either select a road that I'm just doing that, or I can, try to go on a crossroad and have a little bit more fun and do this and this and that, and be inspired by this part of the world or this part of the world. I'm gonna have to just go with the flow, do what I want to do. And I suppose that if someone is unhappy with it, I mean, everyone is free to just comment below and tell me, did I do something wrong with this character that you're seeing right now? This is Janelle. Shout out to Janelle and I, because this is the first name that popped in my head for a dark skin. The face reminded me of her. But anyway, I hope that people out there, watching my videos, if you are yourself related to this character, I hope that you will enjoy the fact that I trying my best to, not being scared to do more inclusive character and to do different things, and I want to do more. So yeah, I think from now on I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do, because I mean, you can never please every single person. I'm sure that with my next project, the Mermaids of the World, or like any type of project, if I do people from different places, I'm going to have someone barely being like, hey, you shouldn't have to do that, like, complain if you want. I personally think that I'm a very careful cultural fan of different culture. I tend to walk on eggs, and I try my best to not do something too crazy, and I always do research, so I think I'm good. But yeah, I wonder, like, what are my fellow YouTubers, artists, think about this. I know that I think a lot of us are a little bit scared of doing things that are not about, what we know as artists. Like, should white people just draw white characters? I think we are a little bit scared, and I think sometimes people use style as an excuse to do pretty much whatever they want. If you're doing like a cartoon character, like whatever the skin color is, but I think it's a pretty white, it's a white thing. What I'm saying is that it took a long time to have different skin color models, to have different Barbie dolls with a different type of like skin or hair types, to have diversity in movies and everything. So I think we have a long way to go. But I think me as an artist, as a creator, my little stone into this, building this mountain of acceptance, is to be more inclusive and do characters and create more people and more diversity in my artwork. I think this is how we can make a change. So yeah, I think that's basically it for what I had to say about this topic. Hope you will enjoy what I said. This was very important to me. So yeah, if you have anything to say about this topic, I would love to know. Just post a comment below and tell me. And as always, this piece is available in my Etsy store if you'd like to get a fine art print. As for the original, this is going to be probably in an exhibition, so it's not up for sale yet, but I will collect all the artworks that I've done the past month, and I will have a release of all the originals soon. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.